Today we want to give you a little house tour. Petunia's coming with us. Petunia's pregnant, by the way.
As you can see, it's quite a walk from the trailer where we live right now all the way to the house. We brought our keys, but these are not our house keys. We don't have doors yet. These are the trailer keys. We purchased this piece of land about 1.5 years ago. It was a lot of trees and stuff, kind of like that piece over there. Actually, this piece, same thing. This place here was a big rock, or multiple rocks, and we brought a bulldozer. They cleared up this area here so we can build a house on the highest point. There's still a piece of rock here. We also cleared up a section over there, and then we have like 3 or 4 sections towards the back of the land. This piece is located in Tecate. It belongs to Tecate, but it's about 20 minutes east of Tecate, going towards the mountains. So it's kind of a higher elevation than Tecate.
Well, not Mexico. Who doesn't know where Tecate is?
Yeah. This house has been in building phase for the better part of 1 year. We brought a guy here that brought like 6 workers to kind of dig up, because they had to dig into the rock, make kind of the whole foundation, and then start building. But the guy came with 6 workers, and then as time progressed, he ended up being the only guy here. So that's why it took forever. I mean, these walls took probably about 8 to 9 months to build. So it took forever. What we're currently doing right now is this front side.
Yeah, this is the front.
Back to the guy with the foundation. He didn't do it correctly, so the house is actually at a lower elevation than kind of the highest point. So when it starts raining, like it's been raining this weekend, water flows into here and then it starts flowing into the house. So I was told the house was supposed to be about 6 inches higher, so that wouldn't happen. But since that didn't happen, we decided to put this front porch here. So when it rains, the water falls away from the house, and that way it doesn't flow into the house. It's 3 arcs here, 4 pillars. We have 1 roof here. It's gonna just be a basic roof that falls like this once. It also helps give the house some shape, because right now it has kind of a box shape. The guys did this in 2 weeks. It took them about 2 days to dig into here because it's just rock. So they had to put kind of a foundation for these pillars. They put these pillars. These are Mexicali style bricks, which means they kind of have this like burnt shape, like a blue and white. And then they also put it in like they laid the brick in a style that's very common here in Tecate, which is kind of 2 laying bricks and then a standing brick and then 2 laying bricks. It's what we intended to do for the whole house, but obviously the plans didn't go as we had planned, and we ended up just covering everything. This side was supposed to have windows, but back to the first guy, there was a lot of mistakes. One of them was he forgot to put windows. I think he was just trying to charge more money. The rain kind of damaged our window, so as you can see, the paint didn't hold up so well. These are also brand new windows. They were on there for 1 day. This is our other window. It's our kitchen window. And then finally we have our French door. This is a used French door. We bought it off a guy in Tijuana. And actually it wasn't Tijuana, it was Tecate. These are very nice quality though. This rock we originally wanted to take out. We had a big bulldozer, one of the I think it was a D8, so like a very huge bulldozer. He cleared up all the rocks. He couldn't take this rock out. So we ended up saying, he actually recommended somebody who does some sort of work where they drill a hole and then they put some solution that expands. But the guy wanted to charge some crazy amount of money, so we ended up telling him it was fine. We were gonna incorporate it into the house. So it actually goes into the bathroom and also into the living room. You'll see it later. This is we call them fosas.
The shitter. I know that.
We call it the shitter. So it's basically where all the plumbing is going to connect. That fills up. These are typically underground. But again, back to that guy. He ended up doing it overground. So we're probably going to have to throw some dirt on it so it doesn't leak or anything. You'll see a lot of mess everywhere. It was very windy, so the guys that were working here kind of had all their things. Everything got blown away. So this whole house is basically a lot of brick, We have the Mexicali style, which is that one, and we also have your original style. We don't have any here right now, but we also have original. Do we have any? This is like your original brick. They're a little bit bigger. That's what you typically see in houses. A lot of the house is built out of this. Well, actually, most of the house is built out of that, the outside walls, because that's a bigger brick. And then all the inside walls, we use this brick. We also have some blocks, and then a whole lot of cement, wood, and then this plastic, I don't know what you call it, but it's kind of like a Spanish tile, but made out of plastic. And then it's big sheets, 1 by 6 meters. It's a lot easier to install, and the roof is a lot less heavy. This is our front door. We have a 3 meter wide entrance. We want to put a huge door here. We're still vetting people who can make it for us. The carpenter guy, the one that built the windows and built this French door, was supposed to do this, but he did such a bad job with this door and the windows. Everything's peeling and swollen, so we're definitely not going to give him this job. So this is our 3 meter hallway. The plan is to have a door here that has kind of 4 pieces, 2 stationary doors, and then 2 doors that open. These doors won't move unless you want them to move. You can pull up some pins and then those will open. Straight ahead we have our kitchen and then our living room. There we have the rock. You can't see it because we have some stuff there. But the rock is essentially there. It's going to be cleaned up and you're going to be able to have a nice view of the rock. This is our main, master bedroom. This is the door I was talking about. Basically, this is the frame. It doesn't feel very stiff. Everything's basically falling apart. We actually covered it because we were afraid if it got more water, it would ruin even more. I don't know if these are paint cracks or wooden cracks, but they feel like it's the wood that's cracking. But yeah, these are not so well built. The guy installed it this last week. I told him obviously I wasn't gonna pay him for this. So he took the door back. He's back in Mexicali, he's also from Mexicali. And he said he's gonna bring a new door that's a little bit better. This is the master's bathroom. We also have the rock here. This is where our shower's gonna be, where the rock is. You can see kind of the water pipes going up. We have the toilet right next to it. And then finally our sink. I wasn't very experienced yet with building a house. I've learned a lot through kind of all these mistakes. Here it's kind of an awkward entrance to our other bathroom. This is our kind of our common bathroom. We have a bedroom on this side and a bedroom on that side. But this entrance here was actually supposed to, you're supposed to have a door to the bedroom, a door to the bathroom here, and then this little hallway with the door to the bedroom. He kind of messed up and put the door on this side. And then he wanted to put a door here to go into that bedroom, but obviously that was not going to make sense. So we ended up making that door there. So this is our main bathroom. This is where the shower's going to be. We have the toilet here and then our sink here. This was supposed to be our laundry room, but since we realized we don't have as much water as we thought, it's probably just going to be a storage room. This is the other bedroom with a little window. Actually, I hadn't realized until just now, something I didn't think about. So we had talked about putting a big window on this side and another one on that bedroom as well. But we ran the conduit right down the center. So obviously we won't be able to put a window right in the center anymore. Maybe what we do is put a, 2 taller, thinner windows, one on each side. But yeah, we'll see if we use those windows we bought.
This is the view from the second bedroom.
This is the other bedroom, same problem with the 2. This is our kitchen. It's the one we bought.
Second hand.
Second hand. The carpenter guy was trying to charge 110,000 pesos, which is about $5,500 to build a kitchen. I'm really glad I didn't ask him to do it, because after looking at the quality, you know, of the doors and the windows, yeah, this door won't even open. I feel like it's swollen or something happened here. It's rubbing now. So look at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it won't even open. And then we have these latches again that just are very cheap. I told him, well, after like 10 tries, that wood is gonna wear out from this metal. He also painted these latches, and if you see, like, it's been 3 days and it lost the paint. So obviously you can tell he didn't do anything correctly there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to find a new carpenter. Last thing that was complete was these walls. You had a very ugly combination of Mexicali brick with, we had some block up there. We had a kind of mix of everything, so we wanted to make the whole house look like something, like it was made out of one thing. So we ended up just covering everything, and then it looks a lot better now. The roof, you can appreciate it now, but it took 2 tries, and even on the second try, it's not perfectly fine yet. We hired a contractor. He built the roof. We bought all the material. We paid him basically because it was supposed to be done. This was like during when Julia and I were traveling, so we couldn't really, you know, be on top of him and see everything. So we come back to do like a final inspection, and it was one of those windy times. So the whole roof was very wavy. A lot of the ceiling had fallen. So basically the roof was a complete disaster. We had to hire somebody to take the roof apart and then hire somebody else to build the roof again. So it took 2 tries. We spent a whole lot of money because it uses a lot of wood. So as I said, the roof is almost done, but it's still leaking. So we have a very big leak here. You can't see it now. Oh, so it's actually here. You can kind of see this thing. That's where the roof is leaking. So we're still, thankfully, still have the guys here. These guys are gonna fix it. This other room also has a pretty big leak. So I guess it's not so bad. We have 2 leaks out of the entire roof. The plan is to paint it all black. That way we can appreciate the lights and not the roof. You can kind of just see up. You're gonna look up and it's gonna seem like infinity. All you're gonna see is lights, and then the roof you won't be able to see. It's also gonna cover all these nails that are sticking out. It's very hard to find quality in Mexico. The cost of labor is, you know, it's somewhat cheaper, but even then, I think it's much better to pay a little bit extra and have better quality. So yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. This pillar is here. I say it's here because it supports the roof, and it does, but it wasn't really planned for. We came back to see the house, and then we saw this pillar done all the way to here. And we asked the guy, you know, why is this even here? And he gave us this whole answer. So we kind of accepted. There's no way to take this out. This is, you know, 100% concrete. So we ended up kind of using it as a support for the house. So we threw some of these structures here and this structure here, and this kind of all supports the roof. So now it looks pretty nice, but it actually wasn't something that was planned for. It kind of just happened. We also had an electrical guy run all the conduit. So we're doing steel conduit. It's gonna give it kind of an industrial look. These pipes are also supposed to be painted black. So it's gonna be a black ceiling, kind of, right now it's concrete walls or cement looking walls, and then it's gonna be black steel conduit. This guy did a pretty good job. He's actually one of the people who I think has done the best quality so far, because he does some really nice turns. It kind of goes up here, it curves, and then it curves again. So he's putting a couple of curves into one tube. I think somebody that's lazy would have just ran it up, then a curve, and then another curve straight to there. What you see here seems like a very early stage of construction, but this is taking us over 1 year to get here. We've had to take some things down. As we said, the roof, we had to just do a lot of modifications because of mistakes throughout the process. I think we were hoping that our people were more honest and they knew what they were doing. Sometimes we weren't close to them, and for that reason, they took advantage. They wouldn't work. They would send pictures of like little things that looked good, but then everything else looked terrible. Until like about 2 months ago, where we came and stayed here, and we've been living in the trailer. And then since then, you know, the roof got built, the electrical got ran. We're having a little bit of issues with the windows and doors, but they're progressing. The walls all got softened up. They've made kind of this cement pattern. So the house looks a lot better now than it did before. And maybe on the next video, you'll see kind of how this is completed and how much we progress. We want to put some ceramic or porcelain floor tiles with kind of a wooden shape. We went like looking at them this weekend. So we want to do that. But before that, obviously we want to connect the plumbing, put a water supply, a water tank, and then be able to kind of open water faucets, flush toilets, and then make sure everything's fine.
But yeah, show us some support in the comments so we have motivation for the upcoming steps.
So we can make the next video. Anyways, for now we're gonna explore. See the view from here. We're
gonna appreciate the view, watch the rabbits, the squirrels, the bobcats, and the coyotes. Ciao, cacao.